Wow, we just saw Ethereum break down technically, a breakdown on the weekly close. Is the bull market over? Is alt season over? Is there no hope anymore? What caused this dump, right? Because we just had the weekly close on the Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin still looking okay, Ethereum in a lot of trouble. Let's visit the situation and see what Pablo thinks is going on here. So with Bitcoin, as per my last video, I was saying that I'm looking for a dip down to this green trend line, right? This green trend line, we almost got there. This was the Sunday close, right? And the weekly close. So I was expecting something like 94, maybe even with a slight dip into 93. It stopped just short and now we're bouncing, right? We're bouncing. So right now, you could say this is a topping pattern, right? And it breaks down. No one can be 100%. If I have to lean one way, I would say Bitcoin's probably in some sort of bull flag, consolidation, and then break upwards, something like that. More so than a topping pattern. So consolidation and break up. I'm leaning that way. That means I'm probably 60-40, 70-30, leaning that way. Now, let's have a look at the weekly close for Bitcoin. And by the way, I'll get to Doge at the end of this video as well, because some folks are interested in Doge, so have a look at Dogecoin as well. Weekly, you can see it's a bit of a problem because the highest 109k close here was actually a topping tail on the weekly, and this is a big topping tail on the monthly as well. So overall, Bitcoin looks weak on a higher time frame, but I'm still leaning towards one more bounce. This is a consolidation in my mind. I'm leaning towards a bounce. Nothing's 100% though. Okay, have a look at Ethereum and what's happening on Ethereum, which is the key chart here. The problem with Ethereum is that this is the weekly close, and we can see how bad this is, right? This is the long-term chart support line that supported ETH all the way from June 2022, and it's been 2.5 years now, this entire bull run. And this is kind of the first time we've had a weekly close below. I said we needed a weekly close above 230, 240, and then for us to keep going. So now we've had the weekly close below. That's pretty bad. If you're a technical trader, right, we've had like 3 or 4 closes now below the really big important supporting trend line. That's really bad. And so is this going to be a fake out and go up, or according to the technical rules, this is a breakdown and we crash? Well, I'll tell you guys the answer plus the analysis on Doge in just a second. Just before that, let's quickly answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo use? Well, I personally use a non-KYC exchange. Non-KYC means no IDs needed. That means Americans can use it. That means they can't see your ID. Even the exchange does not know who you are. That means the IRS, the tax office, the CIA, FBI, nobody can see that it is you. So, and because I've done this deal with them, basically everyone, all the newbies joining, right, newcomers get this $5,500 worth of benefits, right, just for signing up and doing a little bit of trading. Already 1.3 million users, the largest non-KYC platform in the world. The way to find it, if you're on any other platform, if you're on YouTube, basically it's in the description below. The link's in the description below, right? The Pablo link. Or basically if you're on, say, Instagram or some other platform, just go to my page, my homepage, and basically click on, right, the stand link there, and it's the first thing that comes up, right? It's the first thing that comes up, and we click on that, and that takes us to the Bitunix page. Okay, let's get back to Ethereum. But only on the link that Pablo is providing you. These are the Pablo He-Man deals, so it's only on my link. Okay, so with Ethereum, what I would like to say is that we can, from a lower time frame, remember how I showed you guys this in my last video, from a lower time frame, it's basically doing, in my opinion, still doing a bull flag, right? You could have a tight bull flag, as I was saying. We used a halfway point, these dotted lines, the halfway point of this bull flag, or it can break down and it could be a full bigger bull flag this way, right? And we bounce along the bottom edge. Obviously that's not good. We want this to be a tight bull flag like this, right? Eventually bouncing somewhere off like, say, mid 2400s, and boom, up we go. So I'm leaning towards this to be a fake out. Look, of course, nothing in trading is 100%, but at least I'm telling you which way I lean. I think there's a bigger chance this is going to be a fake out and a bounce. I'll show you guys why this is the case. Because, for example, look at silver. I'll give you two examples. Silver, we had this, let's go daily. We also had this major supporting trend line. This one started from Feb 2024. So it's over a year now. Over a year, silver has bounced off this, let's use a natural chart, has bounced off, say, once, twice, 3 times, right? And on the 4th time, it broke down. Then usually the theory says we would retest, and then break down, right? But that didn't happen. See, silver went down on December 18th, popped back up on January 30th. It spent 42 days beneath this trend line. Never went far. It kept on hugging this trend line, and then boom, it's popped up again. Right? It's popped up again, and now it's looking like it could bounce off this support again and actually go up. So it's the reason why silver looks bullish is not because silver is bullish, but it's because gold is bullish. Gold is bullish because of Trump tariffs. You know, the New York banks are buying as much gold as they can before the Trump tariffs come into effect. So I'll give you one more example. And by the way, I should explain why we had this collapse today. So today, it was important, as I said, it was important for Ethereum to close above this trend line, right? To go somewhere like 270, 2730 to close above here. It was like around here, right? Just at 2700. It just needed to push up another $30-40, but it didn't because news suddenly came out. Suddenly, just as we were coming close to the weekly close, sudden news came out saying Trump is going to do 25% tariffs. 25% tariffs on US on all imports of steel and aluminium coming to the country. And then I just saw Bitcoin tank, and that took Ethereum down with it. Okay, just quickly, you can see who's that targeting. I thought that was actually targeting China because they're actually the world's largest producer of steel and aluminium by far. And yet the largest sources of import into the US is actually Canada, Mexico, Brazil, South Korea, Japan, Germany. These are all allies. I mean, Brazil is not quite so much of an ally, but everyone else is an ally. That actually hurts allies. Aluminium, largest again, Canada, India, Mexico, then China, then Vietnam. European Union. So this would be pretty painful for Vietnam, Mexico, and India, and Canada, because China's a much bigger economy. So these kind of tariffs are much more painful for allies such as Canada, Mexico. India and Vietnam are sort of neutral. It's not. I mean, I guess that's the only option he's got. I'm not going to comment on the politics, but just showing you guys, this is actually hurting a lot of allies. For Ethereum, I've shown you guys that what could happen is we get either a retest here and go down, and that's the end of the bull market, or we get a retest here, right? Maybe pull back and then boom, break through. Of course, it's going to be a very nervous and hairy period when Ethereum is below this trend line and keeps on doing this, right? So follow Pablo, and I'll keep you guys updated. Now, one more, we're going to have a quick look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin. Once again, so have you noticed all the crazy things that Elon is doing with Doge? Doge is in the news every day now. Elon is basically like, for people who don't know this, Elon has basically promoted Dogecoin so much. He's in the international news all the time. Doge, the department, has recently took down USAID, asked the CIA and FBI to fire 9,000 people altogether, fire more people from IRS. I think that's more Trump than Doge. And who else did he want to fire? Now he's found irregularities with the U.S. Treasury. So he's going to the U.S. Treasury Department. And then he's investigating the Pentagon next. This is huge. This is stuff we never thought we would see with the U.S. government. Doesn't matter Republican or Democrats. This is huge. With so much pump, with so much news, right, about Doge. Look at the price of Doge. It's basically now still back at from 48 down to 24, right? Gone down 50%. Gone down 50%. So there's so much news. So what's really needed is basically for the Federal Reserve to pump the whole system with liquidity, to do QE, and which is print money, and NQT. That's what I spoke about in my last video. If you're curious what that's all about, watch my last video, one of the long videos that I do that's like 10 minutes long, where I explain what happens. So my thinking is here, okay, ETH bounced well off this 20 cent, Doge bounced off this 20 cent support, and then what I think could happen is one more dip, like one more wick down to something like this, right? 22. The support is 23. So something like a wick down to 22, and then a V-shaped recovery, something like this, and then up we go, something like that. Something like that. So it would be pretty amazing that if ETH doesn't at least come up to 73 cents, which was the all-time high, because of Elon doing so much for Doge, doing so much, like how could it not? So here was the big bottom, range lows around 5 cents. That was my call for ETH, where ETH was to bottom from when we're in this previous bull market. People said, where's Doge going? I said 5 cents. And now we've had the high at 22 cents, low at 9 cents, high at 47 cents, bounced off this high, previous high perfectly, which is again 21 cents. I think around 23 cents, 22 cents. That's the time to load up on Doge for one more move to about 73, if not at least 47. All right, should see at least a 2x bouncing off 23, 22. The stop can be somewhere like, say, 19.2. Best if below like 18.8. Enter around 21, 22, and stop below 18.8. The last video, the last leverage trade I spoke about was VVV, Venice token, and it's done well since then, VVV. So, not financial advice, but thank you folks for following Pablo, and I'll have more updates for you guys during the next episode. Catch you later. Bye-bye.